Today they would sue that doctor and probably get a lot of money out of him. I want a little more light on the thing.
One of the things that Daddy got a lot of criticism from his family was that all of his family and background, all the folks were Mennonite people. And when he moved down to New Jersey, down in the very southern tip of New Jersey, close to what is known as Cape May and Rio Grande, he got a lot of criticism because there was no Mennonite church anywhere close there. And we started going to a Nazarene church. Daddy went to several churches, and he liked this Nazarene church. And they had what they called camp meetings, summer camp meeting. And at the summer camp meeting when I was 9 years old, that's where I gave my heart to the Lord.
We used to have a Nazarene church real close up there to the apartments down there on that road, real close to 385.
Yeah.
I remember asking you, well, what do they believe? And you said they were much more legalistic than Tabernacle was.
Oh yeah, much more.
Well, now, how long did you guys stay in New Jersey?
We were down, I was down in New Jersey 6 years after I gave my heart to the Lord at this Nazarene camp meeting. My sister and Veldor, my oldest sister, we both went down to the altar at the same time together. And Daddy tried to get, he wanted us baptized in the Mennonite church. And the bishop wouldn't baptize us while we were going to a Nazarene church. The bishop was, and I'll never forget, Daddy sitting out in the cow stable crying because he had a pretty good job with that dairy farm.
So your family actually went through the bulk of the Depression from 1926 to 1932 in New Jersey then, as far as the Depression was on a nationwide and even worldwide basis.
Right, but because of the farm and the milking, because this dairy farm Daddy worked on bottled their own milk and took it into a town that was 3 miles away called Wildwood. And they would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to milk, and they'd bottle their own milk and take it into this town and sell it.
It'd be interesting to see what the population of Wildwood is now. I think that area has grown.
Oh yeah, it has, because it was a vacation area. Many people, especially in the northern part of New Jersey, would come down there during the summer because of the ocean. In fact, the Delaware River ran into the ocean in the very tip of New Jersey. the very bottom part of New Jersey. The Delaware River ran into the ocean there. I remember that so well.
So you were in New Jersey from the age of 6 to 12.
That's right. Yeah, we moved back in 1932, and that's when I was baptized in the Mennonite Church.
Well, you never did get baptized at all down in New Jersey then?
No, Daddy, because his folks, they were very critical of Daddy going to this Nazarene church, because as far as his folks were concerned, the only church that was right was the Mennonite church.
A lot of churches feel that way.
Yeah. And one of the things that made a big difference in my life down through the years was the Nazarene church believed in eternal salvation. And the Mennonite church, if you committed a sin after you were saved, you would lose your salvation.
Huh.
And I remember Mother saying many times when I was growing up, when us kids were growing up, she'd say we'd tell some lie or steal something, and she'd say, "Do you want to go to hell?" Because it didn't make any difference as far as the Mennonites were concerned about eternal salvation.
Well, now, about what age do you think it was that you got saved as such? There,
9 years old. I was 9.
So let's see, that would have been in
29.
29.
Yeah.
Well, now, what stirred you in that area? Do you think the sermon, was it something related to fear or the beauty?
I had stolen a few things, a couple things around the house, and told a couple lies, and we had every day. Daddy would had a Bible study, a family fellowship time, when he would read the Bible and share some particular verse with us, and I was feeling very upset because I couldn't understand why I committed these sins. And when I went to this Nazarene church at the camp meeting, the preacher, I'll never forget it, the preacher talked and put a lot of emphasis on when you opened your heart to the Lord, you had your sins forgiven. And I sure wanted my sins forgiven.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
Yeah, I had, it was Valdor and me and Saweta and Junior Christian that was born down in New Jersey. And let's see, Martha and John were born when we moved back to Pennsylvania.
Well, that's one thing I was going to ask you, the age differences between Valdora What grade was Veldora in down there in New Jersey?
She would have been, I think, the best I remember, I think she was in second grade when I started first grade.
So she was about a year older than you, huh?
Yeah. Right.
So she was probably born in 1919, give or take.
I think that's right.
Well, now what about Suetta? How long did she? How many years was it before she started first grade?
I wished I would remember. Suella was about 4 years younger than I was.
Well, that's a pretty big gap between you two.
Yeah.
So she was probably born in 1924. And then you say that John and Martha were born after 1932 back up in Pennsylvania.
Right, right.
So Chris had to be born somewhere between well, now that's pretty spread out. I think between Nancy and myself, we were born over a period of about 12 years or so. Let's see, no. I'm 48 and she's 60.
That's right. About 12 years difference.
So let's see if
well, see, there were 7 of you children, and in the family that I grew up, there was 6.
So if Valdoria was born in 1919, then Martha, let's see, you were back in Pennsylvania in 1932. Let's see, that's 13, at least 13, 14 years. It had to be at least 14 years between Veldora and Martha.
Yes, there was. I don't remember exactly what Martha's birthday was. Martha and our daughter Bonnie had become very, very close friends.
Out in Colorado, huh?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What's a fancy cut? Well, I'm curious if we're going to get some rain here. I sure hope we get some. And Orangeburg.
Oh, I've got to get the shadow from that.
I don't think they're predicting
I'm
it
going back.
until I think it's Friday that they're predicting some rain.
Well, you guys get the weather channel. Here it is right there. Well, it sure looks stormy back over. Marcy said that she was in rain all the way up. They've been in rain all morning long.
Wow. Wow.
They went right up through it. So they've been driving in rain all the way up through there. Well, your youngest boy just turned 48.
Wow.
It's scary, isn't it? Mercy.
48.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. I didn't remember exactly what your birthday was.
And you just turned 72, 82.
82.
82. Well, now, let's see if we can cover up to the point where you come back to Pennsylvania when you're 9 years old. Now, you told me, I remember the story one time where you guys were out doing some form of fishing and the tide came back in and you, before you knew it, you were stuck way out there in the water. Not stuck, but the water.